What's good, YouTube? It's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be talking about the latest offering from Native Instruments, Massive 10. And the name sort of says it itself. It is a massive release. The plugin itself is massively good. And I don't think there's a sound you can't recreate with this one here. So let me just go ahead and open up Massive 10 or Massive X. And this is what it looks like. For all you sound designer heads out there, you can really dive deep into this plugin and really sort of get to the nitty gritty. There's a lot of customization that you can do here in creating your sound, but it's also nicely laid out for beginner sound designers as well. Or if you just want to use the presets, there's some dope ones as well. And we're going to cycle through all that in this video. So this video is not going to be like an in-depth look at Massive 10 and everything you can do, because there's so much you can do. I'm still learning all that as well. But I just want to take you through the plugin just so you get familiar with it, see the different functions and features that it has. And then we're going to cycle through some presets so you actually hear how the plugin sounds, because at the end of the day, it really matters how the plugin sounds. All right. So let's break this into like 3 different sections here. The top section over here is where all your macro controls can be found. You have up to 16 macro controls that can sort of be linked to any parameter within the plugin. And you can automate that or just assign it to your MIDI controller, but that's your macro controls. The second window that I want to focus on is this one right over here. And this is essentially where your sound is generated, produced, made. It's pretty much where you'll be sort of creating the brunt of your sound. And the bottom part is where your modulation, voicing, and routing lives. So with the routing, you have just an infinite amount of ways in which you can work with your sound. Your voicing window is over here. And over here, you have 3 performer tabs. And it's essentially giving you like this live play through your sound. And I'll show you some presets that kind of utilize that. You have 9 envelopes or LFOs. So here's all your envelopes, LFOs. And then you have 4 key trackers, which is over here. Again, we're not going to get too deep into it, just letting you know where everything is. And lastly, you got a voice randomizer, and it just can add random modulation to any destination that you want to go on. So that's Massive 10 in a nutshell and what it looks like. Let's go ahead and just dive a little deeper into the sound design portion, which is up here. So you got 2 wavetables. You got pretty much an abundance of choice when it comes to wavetables. And let's go ahead and just cycle through some of the wavetables. I'm going to go to some of the more interesting ones. So like here's a Dragon Crush. So you just have a bunch of wavetables that you can work with. And then within that, you also have this over here that sort of will manipulate or sort of adjust the way that wavetable will be played out. Like for example, there's like this really funny one, Gorilla here. And within that, you can choose which gorilla you want. And as you can see, it adjusts the way that wavetable is played out. So we can let's go to bend. So that's pretty much your section where you're going to be choosing what sort of sound you want to go for. And then from there, you're going to go into your noise section over here. And here you can choose from a collection of different noises, if you will. So here's white noise. Let's turn this down. You can choose from pink noise if you want. Or you can choose from any one that you really want. There's a bunch here. So let's see what sounds maybe cool. You have a kettle. Literally sounds like a kettle. You have traffic. So if you just want to add actually just some ambience to a track, you can go ahead and just use that as an ambience track. which is actually really cool. Let's get to something like environment. So this is kind of cool. You have like a rain roof. So like rain coming on top of a roof. A fire section. So literally you can just use this plugin as a noise generator and just use it as atmospheric sounds for like lo-fi beats, or you know, any beats for that matter. Sometimes you just need some like water or bubbles in your beat. Pretty cool. But you can have two noises over there, and you can just, this is your volume here, so you can choose how loud you want it to be mixed in with your sound. So over here is your filter section, and you can choose from quite a bit of filters that you can go through. But let's just bring this sound up here. Anyways, it's a filter section. Nothing too crazy, but it does the job and what's needed. Over here, you have insert effects section. So over here, you can bring in, say, a bit crusher on a sound. Over here, you can select like a distortion unit if you like. Now, I'm probably not using the best sound to showcase these, but they're here. And over here, you can actually, or any one of these, you can actually put in another oscillator as well. So if you want to put a sawtooth, a sine, sometimes it's good to place those in there as well, especially a sine wave if you want to add in some bass. So you can do that over there. And lastly, over here is essentially a spot where you can add in stereo effects. So like your equalizer, you can put in a flanger if you want on the sound. You can even put a reverb on the sound or delay. So just effects here. Actually a cool sound that we just created. I might save this as a preset, but that sounds pretty cool on its own. But and that's just where you put like some effects all built into the plugin itself. And then after you have your main sound sort of laid out like that nicely, then you can go real crazy and start playing around with the routing of where each oscillator goes to. And like you can have an oscillator go straight to a unit and maybe pass some of the other units. It's just crazy routing you can do, just put it that way. And then you can go ahead and adjust your envelopes and add in some elevos to bring some movement to your sound. Now we're not going to go into that into this video. What I really want to do for this one is just go through some of the presets. You know, the first thing you do when you get a plugin is you just go through the presets and see how it sounds. So let's go to bass and just let's see what some of the basses sound like. So really nice full sounding basses. There's like your classic bass, your hard EDM hitting bass. Nice wobble bass over there. Next, let's go to some of the strings. Now this one I actually used in a recent beat I put together. I love it. Sounds good. This is another nice preset I like to use, or at least for the past week. Shout out if you know which song that is. Let's go over to the braces, the brasses. Now I'm pretty sure that the presets are gonna grow. Ooh, that's a nice fat one. I'm pretty sure that the presets are gonna grow. Right now, I know Native Instruments just want to get this out into your hands. So this is what we have to start with. You have sort of drum type of sounds here. Here's some flutes. This is a nice cool one I used in a beat. Sorry, it wasn't that one. I think it was the smooth flute. Yeah, it was this one. I like that one over there. Some of the guitars are actually really nice in this one. So if you go like, I think it was clean strings. Electric guitar over there. Soup noodle. Run it back turbo. Sounds like a sound that he might use. Good name for that preset. You got some mallet instruments over here. Now this one's really cool, the multi-track presets. It's essentially like a whole song if you just hit one note, and that's where like these performance comes into play here. So we're gonna go to, let's go Elizabeth. It's like a whole performance. So if you want to learn what this performance does, this is what it does. I might actually use that in like a little Uzi Vert type beat. It sounds pretty cool. Anyway, those are some performance presets over there. Let's take a listen to some of the organs. I like that one a lot. It's a nice one as well. There's really nice organs on this one here. Here's some percussion stuff. Want some like Metro Boomin' bells. Some pianos. It's like a Juice WRLD type beat. It's like a Juice WRLD type song over there. Let's see, pluck strings. That's a nice pizzicato strings. Alright, let's go to some of these sound effects, which in this one is actually pretty dope. Like a hard hitting, like Kanye West type track if you use that effect. Let's go to soundscapes. So a lot of actually music is using soundscapes today just as a background to have as like a filler track and like filtered out. Some of these can work well. Right, here's some lead synths. Let's go to, I guess, synth miscellaneous. It's a nice build-up sound. It's like a pop anthem. There's something for everyone in this plugin here, really. Here's a plucked up. Here's some pads. Song could be like in a 21 Savage type beat. Sorry, when I go through presets, I sort of think of like sounds that would work with certain artists. It's also a nice sound. And this is where you'll find all of your own personal presets. But that's pretty much it. Like, I did a quick preview of some of the sounds, but it just gives you a good idea of what type of plugin this is and what it can create. Once again, there's complete customization that you can do in this one. So if you are like a big sound head and you love to dive deep into synthesis and sound design, this plugin is probably for you. Just so much you can do, but also as a sort of a beginner sound designer, or just a person who likes to just work off of presets and work from there, you can do that as well. It's nicely laid out. This is essentially, like I said, your brunt of your sound, and then just your modulators are found down here. And that's an easy way to look at this plugin, because it can get a little confusing. But once you understand that, it's fairly easy to get a grasp on. Just have fun with it. I'll place a link in the description box below this video if you do want to look more at it. Massive X is set out to be a massive plugin, no pun intended, for the future. It's going to be a crazy plugin, and a lot of producers is going to have this in their arsenal. So you might as well get it at the beginning and start using the sounds before a lot of other producers do so. So once again, I'll link Massive 10 in the description box below this video. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go ahead and talk in the comment section below. Happy to answer any questions you may have as best I can. And as usual, guys, I'll see you all in the next one. Later. Peace.